Students, how are you all? Students, in our previous video we had discussed about the nutrients, and today we will continue the chapter by the protein deficiency diseases. That diseases are Kwashiorkar and Merismus. So at first we will start the Kwashiorkar. You know, this Kwashiorkar is also called the Sukha Rog. It is a severe protein deficiency disease. So Kwashiorkar is a protein deficiency disease and it affected usually in young children. This disease is caused when mothers stop breastfeeding to their bodies, and due to that there is deficiency of protein. You know that the milk of mother that contains a lot of protein, that means that is rich in protein, and after weaning the child is given a diet mainly consist of carbohydrates and poor in proteins. So the suffering child may die before the age of 5 years. The child, suffering child means the child who is suffering from Kwashiorkar will die before 5 years age. Now what are the symptoms of Kwashiorkar? The symptoms are underweight, belly producing out, that means his stomach will come outside, and skin getting dark and scaly, stunted growth and loss of appetite, and repeated diarrhea in such child, and liver enlarged, and anemia is also there. And one another symptom of Kwashiorkar is oedema, that means swelling of feet and face due to the accumulation of water in the tissue of the feet and face region. So these are the symptoms of Kwashiorkar. Then how can you control the Kwashiorkar and what is the treatment? So the child who is suffering from Kwashiorkar, it should be given a protein rich diet which is consisting of pulse, milk, egg, fish and meat. You know, these milk, egg, fish, etc., these contains rich protein, and wheat, gram, peanuts, soybean, these contains more protein and carbohydrates. So you had to give such diet to the child who is suffering from Kwashiorkar. Now the Kwashiorkar is an African term which means the sickness of child gets when a new baby comes. This is so because the elder child source of protein is no longer available. So what is the source of protein in younger child? That is the mother's milk, and when he will not find the sufficient quantity of milk, then this disease will be there. Now here Merasmus. Next is Merasmus. So what is Merasmus actually? So in Merasmus usually affects infants below the age of 1 year. In Kwashiorkar below the age of 5 years, but in Merasmus it is usually affect the child who is below 1 years. So Merasmus, it affects the child below the 1 years. So in case of Merasmus, what will you do here? And it also, and due to deficiency of carbohydrates, fats and proteins in the diet, the disease is caused due to sudden stoppage of breastfeeding followed by the diet poor in energy, and giving food like carbohydrates, fats and proteins. So here, what are the symptoms of Merasmus? The symptoms of Merasmus are less body weight, disintegration resulting in a weak body as if formed to muscles, skins and bones only. And the next is to skin becomes loosely folded and the face becomes thin and thinning of limbs, retarded physical and mental growth. That means their physical and mental growth will be retarded and ribs appearing prominent. So what is difference between Kwashiorkar and Merismus? Actually, this is given here, the difference of Kwashiorkar and Merismus. So here it affects the children from 1 to 5 years, Kwashiorkar, but Merasmus affects the infant below the 1 year. This Kwashiorkar is due to the deficiency of protein in diet, but the Merasmus is due to the deficiency of carbohydrates, proteins and fats in the diet. And oedema of legs and face is there, but in case of Merasmus, no oedema you will find. And the skin of the patient who suffers from Kwashiorkar become dark and scaly, but in case of Merasmus, no darkness will be there. And in case of Kwashiorkar, there will not be any this degeneration of the muscle. That means degenerations of muscles is absent in case of Kwashiorkar, but degeneration of muscle with the body coming very weak in case of Merasmus. Now, how do you control and treat to the Merasmus? So the child suffering from Merasmus should be given a diet which is rich of protein, carbohydrates and fats. Mineral salts are needed in the diet in small quantities. Table salt contains mainly sodium chloride. Many other mineral elements are obtained from various foodstuffs such as green vegetables and fruits. Some important mineral elements and their nutrition value that is given below. So that minerals are calcium and phosphorus. You know that minerals are also required for the growth of the body. So that minerals are given here. About that minerals here, first is calcium and phosphorus. It helps in the stretching the bones and the teeth. Calcium is also required in the process of clotting of blood. Phosphorus is required in the various chemical process as in the production of chemical energy, ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate, and during the cell respiration this process will be, and rich sources like milk, meat, egg, fresh pulses with vegetables, etc. Now, role of iron. So iron has a role in the formation of hemoglobin. That means in absence of iron in the body, anemia will be there. So sources of iron is green vegetables, liver, etc. Iodine, it is required for the proper working of thyroid. Now, if deficiency leads to goiter, sources of iodines are vegetables, minerals, water. Okay. Now, potassium and sodium, they are also needed for the body and they are needed for the cell permeability, especially in nerve cells. What is their source? Source, most foods and table salt. Now, here is a table which indicates about the elements, their source, function and deficiency. So, here first is calcium. First source is calcium. So, what is the element? That is calcium, and the source of calcium is dairy foods, beans, cabbage. and function constituents of bones and enamel means it is found in tooth, required for the muscles contraction, clotting of blood. This is the function of calcium, and it regulates the acid base equilibrium, and due to the deficiency of calcium, rickets or poor skeletal growth will be there. And sodium, the source of sodium is table salt. It regulates acid base equilibrium. In absence of sodium, muscular cramps, nerve impulse don't get transmitted. Now potassium, it is found in banana, potatoes and citrus fruits. Nerve and muscles activity, fluid balance, secretion of neurotransmitter, this is the function of potassium. Now nerve impulse don't get transmitted in absence of potassium. And the phosphorus, it is found in dairy products, cereals, beans, nuts, meat, eggs, and it acts for the synthesis of nucleic acid, ATP and NADP in bone and bones, enamels for the muscle contraction, and in the conduction of nerve impulse. In absence of this phosphorus, bones will be soft. Next one is magnesium. It is found in vegetable, whole grains, nuts, seafoods and meat, and the function is to bone and tooth structure and synthesis of enzymes. It increases the irritability of nervous system. Now next is sulfur. Sulfur, it is found in dairy products, onion, garlic, radish, meat, egg and the component of proteins and coenzymes, it is functions, and due to deficiency of sulfur, skin problems will be there. And next one is chlorine. It is found in table salt. It balances the water and secretion of hydrochloric acid in the gastric juice, and in absence of it, muscular cramps will be there. These are the macronutrients which are found in large quantities. You have to take it in large quantities, and then micronutrients needed is in small quantities, that are iron, cobalt, copper, zinc, iodine. So here iron is here, so it is found in whole cereals, fish, nut, egg yolk, liver, kidney, and function is to synthesis the hemoglobin associated with oxidation reduction reaction. Deficiency of iron causes anemia. Now cobalt, found in milk, cereals, pulses, liver, red meat, and due to deficiency, development of red blood cells, components of vitamin B12 will be affected, and due to the deficiency of cobalt, pernicious anemia will be there. Next one is copper. It is found in nuts, legumes, liver and kidney. Function is to production of melanin, cell oxidation, synthesis of enzymes. Due to the deficiency of copper, there will be loss of body weight and anemia. Next is zinc. Cereals, pulses, nuts, meat, liver, oils are the sources, and they needed synthesize the enzymes, carbon dioxide transport in the blood. Due to the deficiency, retarded growth, skin lesion and albinism will be there. Then iodine, it is found in salt, water and seafoods. The component of thyroxine hormone secreted by the thyroid glands. Due to the deficiency of iodine, goiter disease will be there. Now fluorine, found in water and milk. Function is the components of tooth, enamel and bones. That means in the making of these things, fluorine is acts, and due to deficiency, dental decays will be there. And magnesium, found in vegetables, and same as molybdenum in pulse, cereals and meats. The function of magnesium is bone development, nitrogen metabolism, and poor bone development will be there due to the absence of this manganese. Now molybdenum, it acts for the nitrate assimilation. Due to the deficiency of molybdenum, slight retardation of growth will be there. This was all about the micronutrients and macronutrients which are required for the body. That's all for the today, and the remaining part of this chapter we will discuss in our new session.